addresses those issues, so that
he's working on that, and I'd like for us, yes.
I'm also saying that basically you got to, what he's trying to tell you, as a council person, you're not supposed to be involved in any writing of a contract or a lease at all. Now you did that, but that's the law. But regardless of that, I'm still saying the whole council should see what's going on and get with the law director, not you, but the law director, and see what can be done.
I agree. I think this process can be made. It can be done more transparent.
Listen, please. We talk to the lawyer. There's no harm in me writing the lease. It still goes to the law director, who then tweaks it and approves it, right? Before I came on council, and while I came on council, the clerk sent us stuff upstairs that he write, right? Councilman Martin, the clerk sent stuff up there all day that they were writing, right? So listen, Councilman Martin, please, we're talking, please. So what we're doing is creating a document that goes to the lawyer, who then approves it. So now it's her document. It's not mine now, it's hers.
Well,
right, and it's the cities once they sign it.
That's a side issue that we don't really. The primary, I understand what you're trying to say.
He's to a lawyer.
I understand. We're not going to address that issue, but as far as that's what I think we need to do is make sure that we done the part with all of these.
Just as a tentative, can I get a yes? We'll consider it if he does what he needs to do.
I wouldn't
right?
do that either.
Well, here's where I'm at.
I'm sorry. I just feel. I mean, I understand that it was an oversight on his part. I just feel like
oversight on everybody's part.
Yeah, that if he
because the administration signed it, right? But then they never sent anybody out there to inspect. So everyone has some role to play.
I don't blame him.
But Councilman Martin. But how do we fix it now, Councilman Martin?
Well, we got to see if we can reach some common ground. You know, my thing is if this works out and we consult the law director and everything's fine, I've estimated that he owes $16,000. It's 6 months, $2,000 a month. So if he wants 50%, that means he owes $8,000. Am I calculating that right? Explain it.
The way it works, and I talked to the community development director who handles the permits.
Right.
It's $20 per $1,000. Now he never said he spent $30,000, right? He said below $30,000. He never said he spent $30,000. But let's say he spent $30,000. How much is that at $20 a piece? At $20 per 1,000?
I don't know.
What's 2 times 3?
$600.
$600. So we'll clear that. We'll clear the $600. What I'm asking is that we estimated less than $10,000. He's clearly spent more than that. So the kind of investing in a city building. Now we gave him 6 months. We gave him some time, grace period. He's asking for a little more. So instead of giving it to him and not charging him anything, I'm asking that we charge him half. Give him half abatement. 50% abatement.
6 months starting.
For 6 months, right? And also, keep this in mind, Councilman Martin, when you come out of the winter, those gas bills people just don't know about, right? Gas bill, well,
They go down.
Well, they go up in the winter.
Yeah, but they go down in the summer.
Yeah. So how do we clear this and move this whole thing forward? Because we want to keep him in there, right?
What do you, give me a number of what you think he owes us at this point? Based on this 20 things that you just came up with, what do you think he owes us?
Top is $600.
$1,800. When you're doing a job,
top is
you gotta pay triple.
$600.
Tell it like it is, man.
Now should we?
With interest.
And Mr. Holmes,
I know.
he has a valid point on principle, but looking at all of the miscommunications or people not following through maybe the way they should we really penalize him?
And I think there's also, excuse me, I think there's also, I understand where you're coming from, but there's also a precedent that has to be set as well as how we do business in the city.
That's right.
And I don't,
Come on,
I think that we need to, you know, kind of carefully look at the situation.
Yes.
But I don't think that, he already has an extension on his, or he's already not paying or asked for easement currently, correct?
Yeah.
And so he didn't follow the proper process, and we're not going to do the blame game, but it wasn't done.
Right.
And now he's asking for additional easement. Now, that statement that you made, I just don't want that, you know, anybody can come and try and do business in the city and say, well, I didn't know I had to do this, and I didn't.
No, we know better
because
next
ignorance
time.
of the law does not make you any,
That's
you know.
right.
I know better next
Yeah.
time. I know better next time.
Exactly, but we,
It ain't
Okay.
about
I
next
know
time.
now. I know now.
It ain't about
And
next
you
time.
live and you learn. My mama always told me.
It ain't about
So
that.
now we know. So if someone comes
What do you
along
say?
now and wants to lease something from the
Mark.
city,
Hmm?
we say A, B, C, D, this must be done. We let them know, gotta pull
but
your
isn't that the
permits.
standard, you know, thing when anyone does business in the city, a permit is
They
supposed
got
to be
to go
pulled?
on the permit. He knows that.
So
He
his
knows.
contractor should have known that. Even if he did, his
He
contractor
knows it.
should have known
You
that.
can
The only
know
thing
it.
I can think
He
of
said he
to
didn't
try
have
to
a
be,
general contract.
can you please?
No, I
Oh,
can't.
Mays? Oh, well, I just sitting so close to him. That happens. So what I'm saying is the contractors didn't because maybe they thought they were working on a city building and they didn't have to. I don't know. It wasn't done. You're the chair. How do we move this thing forward? And do we really want to penalize this
We're not penalizing
right?
him.
Charge them for
I
the
think
permits, but a penalty?
You need to sit down and discuss it.
We're discussing it
just up here.
now.
Not
Would you
just up here.
please? Would you please?
What we need to do is, now this is all, again, I say contingent upon him doing the right thing. That didn't take place in the first place. So we might be, you say he's in the process of it, but since he didn't know, we don't know if what he's gonna do from this point on, if he's gonna do the right processes. So this is all, maybe we're kind of going a little bit ahead of ourselves until we actually know that he carries out his end of the bargain.
I feel like this is on me, and I'll see to it that he does personally.
Jesus, you need to.
Right?
Well, I think, how do you feel about it, Martin?
Uh,
I mean, because I
I'm
agree.
torn about the whole situation. I don't want to blame nobody. I really have issues with the administration that they're not on top of stuff like this. I mean, we don't have hardly anybody coming here doing any kind of development. They should have been right on top of this.
Yeah.
So, where I'm at this point is let's get the people, the players that we need in here,
That's right.
and see, let's tweak this thing and see what we come up with. I also think, and I say this fairly, you say if he owed us 2,000 and you calculated it to be 600. I wonder is that a challenge for him with the money say he put in the building, and just my observation of his congregation, which is like a typical church in East Cleveland with about 100, maybe 100 so, but they're just common folks like us, then they making a whole lot of money. So you're talking about for him to pay that kind of money, I think, and I say this, I think it's a challenge. I really do.
We
You know,
definitely
plus,
don't wanna,
currently, he's in a facility, he's paying utilities and all that kind of stuff too. Right, water bill, light bill, et cetera.
I haven't seen
So-
any bills.
Well,
I
yeah.
have. I
Okay.
visited the church. and
Well,
looked
I'm
at myself.
saying, you have not seen the whole total from his supposedly legal contractor.
Okay, so he's gathering that information. So right now,
That's what I'm saying. You got to, well, you can't just jump in here and say, we're gonna do it, or I'm gonna help him. I mean, he's gonna do what he got to do, and let's see what he brings back.
That's what I feel
And
too.
Brandon, I
I
really.
feel that way too, although I don't, like you say, wanna,
Yeah.
chastise him or run him
Right,
off the
it's
city,
just a
especially
certain way
when
we
he's
need to
taking over a
approach it.
city building that otherwise, we don't know when would have been
Who else would have
occupied.
wanted it?
Right, that burden. And I also like your point as well about bringing that information to the body so we can discuss on how we want to do things. So I think that it's all contingent upon, this could be given consideration,
Thank you.
contingent upon him going through the hoops and doing all the hurdles that he should have done initially. And that's actually not just taking his word, but producing documents that are
Now you're
worthy
talking.
of not just a
I'm
printout,
going home. Now you're
you
talking.
know, but actual receipts or whatever it is that he gets from his contractors. We want to know who the contractors are, that are valid contractors, whatever information he can obtain.
It gotta
Just
be
to
a
try-
coordinate from the city.
Okay, so just to quell all ifs, ands, or questions, or skepticism, I think that's what needs to be done. And so it's really, the ball is in his court.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, if
And
I
then
could
get
address
Von
one other
Bellis and all
point,
them supposed to do what they're supposed to do to do it.
That's
if
it.
I could
Right.
address one other point, there was an issue in regards to insurance. Now, I understand the law department has seen the insurance, and that he does have insurance.
Yeah, but if they
Right.
find out nobody
And
is
they're
inspected,
called-
then the insurance
we're
is
on
gone.
his insurance as a rider. So
Okay.
if a fire broke out in there,
Mm-hmm.
it's not on us.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's not on
And we're
us.
on there as a rider.
Well, that's a
Right.
legal question for the
Yeah.
to be
But
answered.
it's not on us. Right. I know insurance too. It's not on us. We're a rider on his insurance, on him. So listen, again, we need to think, how do we work this out so that it's a win-win for everybody, and then we move this thing forward. Keep in mind, we want that building occupied. We want those services up there.
Anyone else have any other
Well,
concerns?
King,
raised?
we're not saying that nobody is not concerned about wanting the building.
Let's
Just
just
one-
fix this thing and move it forward.
Wait
That's
a
what we're
minute,
trying to do.
I'm just saying, do it the
Okay.
right way, and
That's
you
what
all
we're
come,
gonna do.
and
We're
you
gonna
all
do it the
come
right
in,
way.
you
She
come in
recognized me.
saying, we don't wanna do business as usual, we wanna do it the right
You know,
way.
because you know what the rumor is about East Cleveland? Can't get no business done up there.
Well,
You
I'm
ain't going up
saying,
there. Can't
I'm
get nothing
saying,
past the council. It's hard to work with them dudes
Oh,
up there.
man, you-
Trying.
Okay, you have the floor.
And
So we can-
let's try to get this
I
right.
see y'all, I'm gone.
Take
Okay.
care. Good seeing you today.
You'll see me, I'm
Again.
been here for 4 years, baby.
I want to see you some more.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I applaud you again. And when I asked you to be quiet. No, but I'm gonna tell
You
you
about to tell
something.
me you're a lawyer again. Amazed.
Excuse me.
Amazed.
He's a lawyer now?
Sometimes it's better to listen.
You're right, you're right. Let me close my
that
book. I'm
won't
gonna
listen.
sit down. I'm gonna sit down. Papa Omaze, I'm gonna sit down. You're right. Go right ahead, sir. I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
I'll tell you privately, because I don't want to get out and something like the hunch, okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell you, and
Okay.
try.
Okay.
So up to you to yourself.
Okay.
See, I've been there.
I know.
Well,
So you
sometimes-
know I got respect for you. You know, I would never disrespect you, so I'm sorry if it seemed I did.
I'm gonna go this route. It's a reflection on the city. It's a reflection, when I say the city, I'm talking about the council and administration. You entering into contracts and nobody doing their due diligence when you enter into contracts. And it's hard for me to hold it back, but I'm gonna hold this back. I'm gonna just say this. That's where this city has always gotten into trouble. Over contracts. And it is not your job to go out there and inspect city. That's why you have inspectors. That's why you have administration. You allocate money for them to operate in that branch of government. You're the authorizing agency. You're the appropriating agency. So, getting involved in contracts when it come before you, you need to quick it, to check to see whether all I's are dotted and the person follow the norms in which you entered into the contract. And it's not your job going out there doing that. That housing inspector or the building inspector or the engineer, that's their duty.
I like to go see things for myself.
And, yeah, I understand. But then they have to come back because they are the ones that is responsible to see that the electrical, the plumbing, all of that stuff is in place. Suppose they have a fire, we're having some jackleg electrician come out there and it catches a fire.
Charles Walls.
Without being certified. The other part of that is, as you're saying, that the insurance that the person has will pay for the building. That's our building. And I've had fires. It's my insurance pays for the bill. Have to pay for the building, have an insurance on that because I'm the owner. And sometimes, if I was negligent, I have to pay sometimes for the tenant's contents due to my negligence if that building wasn't inspected and etc. So it is not that person. He must have content insurance for his contents and what he has in that building or what have you. He's not responsible for that building. That insurance is under the auspices of the city. And that's the way it operates. So I'm not talking off the top of my head. I'm talking from what I've experienced and know. Because I've owned property all over the city at one time. And then I've had some fires. And I know how it works. So can't nobody tell me any different than that. So now, what I'm saying to you, you need to, I know you can't vote in this. You just take a consensus of those who bring it back to the table or what have you. You need to bring all the players in and hear it from their mouth. Not someone sitting here telling you, you have to hear it from them. And so, we'll talk a little later.
Okay, there's no, I move that we table that. Move that we table that.
Can I say a few
So I
words?
get a second.
No, you can't vote in. You can't
Can I
vote
say
in.
a few words too?
Mr. Holmes wants to say something.
Who wanted to say?
I'll wait till he makes his.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, excuse me.
This isn't about this topic. Are we tabling this topic?
Yeah, you can say
So I
that.
can help? Do I have to stand up or can I?
No, come on up.
It's fine, you can
It's a
sit
great
down.
meeting. It's in
You can sit down.
I can sit.
Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Virginia Russell and I've lived in the city of East Cleveland for 30 years.
Okay.
My kids grew up here. I worked at Huron Hospital in the emergency room for 18 years. And then I left Huron, went to University Hospital to work, I'm a nurse. Worked there for about 10 years. Then did some like pro bono nursing, you know, in Bedford and Richmond Heights and that sort of thing, and University. And I'm currently working at the VA hospital in Cleveland. So I've been paying RETA taxes now for 30 years. Last year, I only paid $200 to RETA. And RETA has been sending me bills and telling me, you know, I need to pay these RETA taxes. So I have been sending them letters. I've sent them a total of 3 letters saying that I was very distressed because living in the city of East Cleveland, I have so few city services. And I called the building department about the chuck holes and the sinkholes coming up Oak Hill. We don't get our street salted. We don't get our street with the plows coming through. It's a cul-de-sac, so, you know, it's hard. But every time I call about it, their trucks are broken. When I call the service department about the potholes, they say that they don't have any cold patch, and that the school board has to approve for the purchase of cold patch.
School board.
That's what I was told by the service department. You know, I have given up. You know, this has been an ongoing battle with me for about the last 5 years. So I said, fine, if I'm not going to get city services, then I'm not paying my RETA tax. Every other suburb in the world, Shaker Heights, Cleveland Heights, they all give you a tax credit for the fact that you work in Cleveland and you live in their beautiful suburb where you have I'm getting nothing.
We give a tax base.
I do not. I do not. Rita tax is for the city of East Cleveland. I'm paying the same that I pay to Cleveland. I'm paying also to East Cleveland.
I think
That's
we did
like
go up on
double
that too.
tax, that's double taxation. You know, I'm seriously considering getting a lawyer. Because, you know, how can you tax somebody for services that you're not receiving? I had to go out last fall and I bought myself $200 worth of cold patch. $200 worth of cold patch did about an area of not even 8 feet. That's how deep the holes were. I only, you know, it didn't do even enough. You know, to do the whole street would have probably cost me $1,000. I couldn't afford it. And if you drive up Oak Hill and Stanwood, I mean, how many times, how many flats have I gotten? There is an absolute sinkhole. Soon, I'm gonna have to park my car down at Shaw High School, and I'm gonna have to walk to my house because I'm not gonna be able to drive. That's how bad the roads are. You know, I am just, you know, I've been dutifully being a full-time employee, paying my dues, you know, being a responsible citizen of East Cleveland. I pick up litter, I, you know, beautify the area. We've had, you know, I am through because I get no support, you know, from the city in terms of these just basic city services. Snow removal, I'm paying for my own garbage. I pay for my water and my sewer, but that's going to the city of Cleveland. You know, if we've got so many problems in this city, you know, maybe we need to go ahead and partner with the city of Cleveland. You know, maybe they could fix our roads. They're already doing our sewers and our water lines. You know.
So Ms. Russell, you're not gonna pay your taxes this year? Cause,
well, I have been told,
Russell?
I have been told by Rita that that is my obligation.
Yeah.
I have been, you know, up to date for the last 30 years. I
don't
pay.
mess your record up.
What's that?
Don't mess your record up if you've been up to date. If I have requested, the potholes are probably one of the major issues in the city of East Cleveland. And I've suggested.
What about snow removal?
Well, we got 2 trucks a year ago. They had
Don't
one
do
for
my
less than a
street.
month
They don't do my
and something
street.
happened to it.
Yeah.
But I
mean,
think that,
this is an ongoing thing.
yeah,
It
I
just
think
hasn't been this
you
year.
have to prioritize certain things just like you as a nurse. And I think that if they need to cut somewhere, cut some salaries, and I've said this publicly, at least they can get some cold patch to put in these holes. I said just a few days ago at the last council meeting about coming, I need to say this and you guys need to hear this for the record. I am going to file a complaint against the city of East Cleveland because when I pulled out the council meeting, I made a left turn,
And you Terry
I hit a hole and tore my brand new tire. I had the tire for 2 days. I got it right next door, okay? And tore up the, I had to get a brand new tire. They said they couldn't fix it, okay? I don't even, when I'm going east down Euclid, Dr. Guy, I don't even get in the right lane. It's horrible.
Oh, well,
And I'm not
then
to talk about Terrace and
Terrace
Hillsborough
Road
and
is an
I mean,
abomination.
Okay.
so you don't get me
Thank you,
started.
Councilman Martin.
Okay.
Maybe that's something that you may want to bring, because I know you're in health and safety, correct?
Right. That's
And so maybe that's something you might
I
want to
am.
bring and put on the agenda for general
Okay.
services as well as for the health and
I'm
safety
through
as
with
well.
it, but
Okay.
the other side wants to say something. Brandon King, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Russell, I
Okay.
appreciate you coming out tonight and your many concerns.
Sinkholes, potholes.
Just as a sidebar, my mother, Norma King, worked there 30 years, Hand Road. She
what
was in
was her-
Central Supplies.
I'm sure I knew her.
Yeah, but if you were there that long. At any rate, I was just talking about, well, with the council president and the council clerk in regards to a program that we started last year, the year before we first came in. And what we want to do is draft some type of a letter that we're going to send out, and I hope this interests you, in regards to pothole ambassador or pothole neighbors. We're going to send it out to residents, send it out to block clubs, street clubs, businesses, that if you will buy a ton of coal patch, give us a list of where you'd like it, and the city will go pick the coal patch up and put it where you want it. Now keep in mind, the coal patch is about $150, and a ton can go, I don't want to say it's going to do the whole city.
$150?
About $150 for a ton. Now when you
No.
buy it,
Oh, I'm talking about,
See-
I go to Home Depot,
See,
$10 a bag.
see, here's what happens. If you buy it in bulk, right, you can get a better deal on it. You know, if the city gets it, or if they get it from a wholesaler contract, they can get a better price on it. The city will go pick it up, and the city will put it according to your list. Now, Tom Wheeler and I, we actually sponsored a couple tons, right? We had a number of other groups.
Is that when
What's the street we live? Brewster. Brewster, they bought a couple tons, and they did that area up there. So if you got a block club or a neighborhood club, and they want to pony up the money, we think this is an excellent opportunity for us as citizens of a city that's strapped for resources to kind of help ourselves. So we're going to work on that. And if you give your contact information to the clerk, we'll be sure to get that letter out to you.
Well, the question on Oak Hill and Stanwood is, of course, they stopped right at the intersection of Oak Hill and Hazel there. They stopped when they did the road repair. And I mean, there's a sinkhole forming there. I mean, it's deep. You can see down 30 feet, and they keep on throwing coal patch. It keeps on sinking, you know. I would hate to
I
think
think
of
that's
somebody,
something that we maybe can,
Sinkhole.
You know,
bring, yeah.
Yeah,
Sinkhole.
Think about sinkhole.
I mean, the
and
whole
Stanwood.
length,
And not only that, also that Terrace Road, I think that's something that we need to discuss as far as blocking that off so that road isn't even traveled at all.
Absolutely.
So are there any other? Okay, well, I motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Okay, I can't say, there's a lot of things that I would like to say. Y'all, I guess y'all don't want to hear, because I'm not going to say
ahead,
nothing opposite. I'm going to tell the truth.
Go ahead,
Now, the biggest problem that we have here in this city
Yes, sir.
that's been discussed by Mr. King, he told the truth. So like I've been trying to tell y'all the truth, but y'all don't want to hear the truth. That man had to know he was supposed to get occupancy permits, get permits for all the work that's being done. He knew. That man knew. This is rules of the city. If y'all sitting up here and getting up here and discussing all this stuff and don't know the rules and regulations, y'all shouldn't be sitting up there. I mean, it's just that simple. You know, you're supposed to know what you be talking about before y'all get involved in it. They all knew about what was going to happen on Nova Road. All 5 of them, plus the mayor. They knew specific. And ain't nothing y'all can do now but spin your wheel. Nothing. Until them 6 years up, then the man gonna walk away and that stuff gonna be still there.
We're going to try, Mr. Holmes.
Well, I'm gonna get up on the building and try to fly.
You said that last night.
I mean, what
You live long enough to make
They close the meeting yet?
another year. I'm not perfect. I never claimed to be perfect.